Hello everyone, my name is Ryan and welcome to my video on how to make a baby fish breeder. For example, this would be able, you could use this to hold your baby fish and you can float it at the top of your normal tank, fish tank with parents, and they'll be separated. So if you have fish like guppies, or right now I'm currently using this for angelfish and for betta fry, or any fish that is small enough to fit in here, or a school of fry you can put in here. And for example, like I said, if you have guppies and they like to eat their young, you can keep them in here and the fish won't be able to, the parents won't be able to get to them. So what I need right now is, what I have is a plastic cup. And get this at Walmart, Target, whatever. It's really cheap. And then I have part of an egg carton that I've kind of cut out, and you're going to see that I'm going to need to cut off the edges here, so it's just a flat square. So I'm going to do that right now as we speak. You're also going to need a Sharpie, and I've put the rest of the materials that you need down in the description below, so I don't have to waste time talking about it. You can get right to the point. Alright, so I've already cut off the edges just now, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this plastic cup that I have and I'm going to put it, I'm going to make sure that it's in the center of this contraption, and then I'm going to take my Sharpie. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trace a circle around the base of the cup here. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I don't move the cup. I'm going to trace a really nice edge. Alright, as you can see, I've already done that. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a smaller circle by hand, and it's going to be a little bit smaller than the one on the outside. So this smaller circle would have a radius that's about, say, a little less than ½ centimeter than the one on the outside. And that second circle is the one that we're actually going to cut. And the smaller you draw this circle, so the larger the difference in radius, the higher this cup will sit in the water. Alright, so if you want to start and then gradually fill it down to where you want it to be, I suggest that when you draw this small circle, you draw it smaller than you actually want it to be. Now, since I've already done this multiple times, I'm going to just kind of eyeball it, but you can go slow if you want. Honestly, this is like my third take. I've already went through a lot of these. Alright, so once I'm done with this, I can go ahead and take my scissor and I'm going to cut out from the smaller circle that I just drew. Alright, so I'm going to start by making an incision down here, and then I'm going to very gently start cutting. I know it doesn't sound gentle, but I promise I am being very gentle with this because I don't want to accidentally cut too much. Because like with this, once you cut, you can't glue it back on. And essentially what the egg carton will do is it's going to be like our flotation device for our cup. It's going to allow it to float at the top of your tank. And there are a couple of advantages to having your fry in the big community tank, or where you keep the parents. The first one being that, right now it's October, it's in the middle of the fall, and as it gets colder, if your fry is out in some random container, then you're going to get a lot of temperature fluctuation. But if they're in the same water as your community tank, then the heater is going to help, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cup over or through my egg carton, and this is exactly the setup that we want. I'm going to flip it around because I like it the other way. You see like a little curve to it, and that way when water gets on here, they'll just float off instead of filling up at the top and making a mess. Alright, so this is the first step that we're doing. The The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the needle that I had. I'm going to take a lighter and I'm going to start heating it up. But since as it gets hotter and hotter, it's going to be hard to hold. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my plier and I'm going to hold on to it really well, really tightly at about a 90 degree angle. So I'm going to put a piece of white paper here. You can see where my needle is. And with the needle, the smaller, the better. You can use a sewing needle, and I think the one I have right now was from a dress shirt that I ordered. So a little trick that you probably don't know is that if you have hand sanitizer, this burns really well. It's like fuel, for example. It's like a Bunsen burner almost at a lab. So what you can do is you can take like a little metal, sorry, not plastic, a metal container, a metal cap. You can put your hand sanitizer inside, so like this, and then you just light it on fire. Here, I'm gonna move this down a little bit so you guys can see it better. I'm gonna make this a little less bright. Take this, light it on fire, and you've essentially have, you guys can't see that, but there's flames going on. You can kind of see it. And you essentially have your own Bunsen burner. All right, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna heat up this needle. And as it gets heated up, I'm gonna try to poke holes inside this cup. All right, and once you feel like you can't heat it up anymore, or you can't poke any more holes, all you gotta do is heat up your needle again. And so you're gonna get some on the bottom, and then you're also gonna get a bunch in the sides, okay? So make sure the needle, the smaller the better, because the fry is gonna be tiny, and you don't want huge holes, because then the fry will be able to swim out, right? And that's the whole point is to separate the fry from the parents. Now you can probably do this without the fire. So if you are a little kid and your parents don't let you use fire, you can either ask them for help, or ask a sibling or an uncle or whoever you live with. And this is actually really cool. My dad taught me this whole thing. It was his idea. It was great. I remember the first time I used this was because my guppies had babies, and I was freaking out because I didn't have the money to go buy a net breeder, or I didn't even know like that was gonna happen. So my dad was like, okay, emergency idea here, this is what I'm gonna do. I did this when I was a little kid, and so he taught me how to do this, and it was actually really great. I was like so impressed. So now that I'm showing you this, I hope that you guys can learn a lot from this video. And so now that I'm done with this, you can kind of see that I have all these holes going on. I'm gonna let that fire go out. I have all these holes. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be able to hang this and let go of the needle. Make sure you keep track of where the needle is so you don't sit on it accidentally. I'm gonna put this on, and now this can actually, we're done here. This can float inside our aquarium. And the last thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need to put a little weight down here so that this cup doesn't kind of move around and accidentally like tilt over or whatever. And what you're gonna need, what I have right now is I have a marble. You just drop it in here, and this is the entire contraption. All you gotta do is you fill it up with water and you just float it on top of your aquarium. So I'm gonna cut to a video of where it is right now and see you guys soon. Okay, hello everyone. This is my 30-gallon tank, and as you can see, I've got a pair of angelfish. They just spawned, and the one on the left is the dad, and the mom's right there, the black one. And as you can see, I've got their fry in here, free swimming. As I zoom in like this, you guys can probably see them inside the cup. I apologize, there is some algae on the side, but it's totally normal. And over here, I actually have tons of little baby betas. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can see up. There's a bunch on the top right there. Here's one, there's two, there's a bunch over there moving around. And I actually have some snails in here if we can find them. Oh, there's one down there, and every day I just use straw and I pipette out the bottom waste. for both of these. And I find that if I were to actually use this, I do get a really good rate of survival for these betta fry. And I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a bunch on the top. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and learned something, and see you guys next time.